Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
All right, all right, all right. What's going on, everybody? Bitcoin Chris checking in yet again, and we do have a special guest today with us. Someone that that we've actually known each other for a while now, man. And I'm so proud of you, man. And seeing your journey and seeing everything that you've been doing. And I'm glad to have you on the show. I know we weren't able to really talk before we got on right now, but it's all good. We got a lot of exciting news with the Bitcoin Reserve, the Bitcoin Reserve asset, and everything that's going on. So, we got this breaking news, so we're not going to waste any more time, man. What's up, Dennis? How are you, man? How you been?
I'm doing great, Chris. It's great to see you. I remember back in the day, me and you we were in the clubhouse, we were in the Twitter Spaces all the time. So it's fantastic to be with you here today, and looking forward to the conversation.
Absolutely, man. It's been a while. It's been a while. Clubhouse days, those were the good old days, man. Those were the
That's
good old.
right.
All right. So I know we just got the breaking news, so I'm gonna let you lead this out, and then we can jump into for my audience that may not know who you are. I know, like I said, we've been acquaintances for a while now. So for those that don't know who you are, just go ahead and introduce yourself if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Yeah. My name is Dennis Porter. I am the CEO and co-founder of Satoshi Action, which is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping educate lawmakers and regulators about the benefits of Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. And what we do is we want to get them into a good place so they understand Bitcoin and they appreciate it as much as me and you and all the people that are listening into this stream, because we want our country to be the best place in the world for Bitcoin. But in order to do that, our leaders need to understand Bitcoin and the value that it can provide to our society. They need to understand the potential of Bitcoin mining and the way that it can be a beautiful energy tool. It's an incredible energy tool, really. But we want to educate them about it, but we don't just want to educate them about it so that they love Bitcoin. we want to go even further, and we want to craft model policies that help those lawmakers. Once they love Bitcoin as much as me and you, they can take those model policies and they can introduce them in their state or their country, and they can pass laws to be able to advance Bitcoin. Everything from the right to mine, to the right to self-custody, to the right to run a node, to the right to peer-to-peer transactions. There is so much out there that Bitcoin can do, and we got to protect the ability for people to use it. And that's why we passed this type of legislation in 4 states so far. So already 4 states have taken that legislation that we just talked about, the right to mine, the right to self-custody, the right to run a node, and the right to peer-to-peer transactions. And they have been able to introduce it, and they have been able to pass it into law. So far, we've had over 30 bill introductions as an organization. So we introduce a lot of legislation across this country, and we are good at passing it into law. We've gotten very good at that. And that's why we're so well positioned going forward now to help lawmakers, because it's a different environment we're in. It used to be, you got to convince the lawmakers. You had to really convince them that Bitcoin was good. Now they believe it and they understand it on their own. And they're reaching out to us and they're saying, help us to be able to pass pro-Bitcoin legislation. And that's never happened before. We always had to reach out to the lawmakers, but now we are the ones getting reached out to by them. That's so helpful because we don't have to spend all the time necessary to convince folks. We can just get out there and we can have them introduce this legislation and pass it into law. So it's a very exciting time. In fact, not only are we seeing legislation get introduced and passed into law from people who we've been working with in the past, we are seeing new lawmakers pop up. And these lawmakers, these are Bitcoin lawmakers. So recently I had a lawmaker. He just freshly won his Senate seat. He'd never been a lawmaker before. He reached out to me and he said, I've been a Bitcoiner since 2017, and I just won my state Senate seat. And I want the first bill I introduced to be strategic Bitcoin reserve legislation. So it's exciting times, man. A lot has happened. We've done a lot of work to make the United States the best place in the world for Bitcoin. And we're so excited now, finally, to be able to have lawmakers that are Bitcoiners to work with as well.
Awesome, man. That's excellent, man. It's we came such a long way, right? Even just from just a few years ago, even just last year. That is such a tremendous, milestone to say the least, right? And I think Bitcoin is already protected under the Constitution, but to make sure that the states, pass these laws to make sure they don't infringe on our rights, right? And these are great. These are great legislative pieces that we can all benefit from. So, with that being said, what state was the first state to pass legislation? For those that don't
That's
know.
great question. So we passed legislation in 4 states, but the very first one was Arkansas. It was an exciting moment because, passing laws, it's not easy. It's very difficult, actually. It requires a ton of work. And so we at Satoshi Action, we're willing to do that work. That's the whole point of our nonprofit. That's the whole reason why our donors support us, is because we can get this stuff across the finish line. Not very many people can do it. They like to think they can do it, but it's much more work than people realize. So we've been able to do it in 4 states. Arkansas, then we did Montana, then we did Oklahoma, and then we did Louisiana. All red states, but just so people know, we are also working on the blue states as well. We have a lot of blue states we've been working with. We also have some purple states. Recently, Pennsylvania was the first in the world, the first in the country to introduce strategic Bitcoin reserve legislation at the state level. A very exciting time. And then we turned around and did it at Texas. And then we're going to have one again very, very soon, a 3rd state. All in all, at least 10 states will introduce this type of legislation. So we've been pushing the ball up the hill. I tell people this a lot. We've been pushing the ball up the hill for a long time to get Bitcoin secured. And now the ball is rolling down the hill. So very, very exciting times, but we got to make sure push. We got to chase after the ball as fast as possible to ensure that we get as much as we can out of the momentum while we have it on our side.
Excellent. I'm not sure. I'm having a little bit of a tech issue. Give me one moment, all right?
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah.
Running with
I think we're back. I think we're good.
You got
I'm
back
sure
me?
we're back,
Back
and
with
I'm
me,
sure we're
Chris?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ready
we're
to
back.
go.
The coffee shop has some technical difficulties, so I apologize for it. So excellent. So that was the first state that passed. All right. So the big breaking news is that we have the first executive draft. Right. This is a draft that just came out for Bitcoin Strategic Reserve that we all know that Donald Trump is going to be passing. So can you give us the highlight on this? I know it just broke. I know you also just sent this to me in the DM as well.
Yeah. So we are really proud. We've been working on it for a long time. We've been working on our strategic Bitcoin Reserve Executive Model Order. So a lot of times we create model policies for states. We create these model policies, and then what it does is it takes a lot of the legwork out for those lawmakers so that they can just look at the idea and say, you know what, I like this. I love it. I'm going to do it as is. Or sometimes they make a big changes to it and they adjust it. But we do that for our model policy, and we've been able to have our model policies introduced 30 times, passed into law 4 times. But we also recently wanted to make something different. We did something a little different. Back in June, we started to look into crafting an executive order, a model executive order. And we use that model executive order. We want to get it in front of the president, and we want to say, you can use this model or you can't. You can do whatever you want. Really, he's the president. But we want to create we want to get rid of some of the legwork for you. So we create a model for strategic Bitcoin reserve executive order. And that executive order essentially says that Trump is going to direct the Treasury to take Bitcoin and put it into the strategic Bitcoin reserve. So he establishes a strategic Bitcoin reserve, and then he uses the exchange stabilization fund to be able to put forward more Bitcoin into the hands of the Treasury. And then it also directs the Treasury to stop the auctioning of the Bitcoin they currently hold, because they got a lot of Bitcoin and they need to hold it. We don't want them to sell it. And Trump did say when he spoke at the conference, he said, I'm going to hold 100. We're going to keep 100% of the Bitcoin. I think certainly he should keep 100% of the Bitcoin. That should be the promise that he should keep. And we're going to help him keep it if he wants to. If not, we'll get it done at the state level. We're not worried about it. It's almost near guarantee. It's almost a near guarantee that we pass it at the state level. In fact, because we work in a lot of states, and we don't say this often. We usually don't say it's a near guarantee, but in this situation, it is a near guarantee because we're working in a state where they have a task force, and that task force meets before the legislative cycle starts. You know, a lot of states, they're part-time. They don't have full-time legislatures. And so the lawmakers will meet in the off season and they'll say, you know, which laws should we consider? And they consider them and then they vote on them in the off season. And then when they go back to the legislature, those bills have a much higher pass of chancing. In fact, in this one state, the legislation that they pass through this committee or this task force, everything they pass through the task force has actually passed into law. So every single bill that passes through that task force passes into law 100% of the time. They're very good at it. And our bill just passed through that task force. So we have a very, very high chance of passing it in at least one state, if not more. We're very excited about the direction that we're going. We think Trump should sign this executive order, but if he doesn't, that's fine. We'll still get it done at the state level.
Excellent, great progress and great information. So, a lot of newbies, and there's going to be tons of newbies coming into the space, or just don't even know about how this actually works. So, can you explain to the audience what is the benefit of Bitcoin being on the, being a reserve asset for the United States, right? So, can you just explain that to them in an easy term?
Absolutely. So there's a couple big reasons. The biggest one, let's start at the state level. Why do the states need a strategic Bitcoin reserve? A lot of states are dealing with really significant budget shortfalls. They have these huge deficits, massive deficits, in fact, and we need to help them protect their budgets from these types of deficits. The reason they have the deficits is because there's so much inflation that took place over the last 4 to 5 years, rampant inflation all over the place. And we could have protected them from that inflation, but they didn't take the steps they needed to. They could have held Bitcoin if they would have had a little bit of Bitcoin on their balance sheet when they went through that tough time, because bad things happen. We don't like when bad things happen, but bad things happen all the time, and we have to be prepared for it. That's why we have strategic reserves in the first place. We don't just need a Bitcoin strategic reserve. We need a lot of different reserves, and we need to make sure we protect them. We have reserves for ammo reserves. We have agricultural reserves in this country. We have medical supply reserves. We have uranium reserves, rare mineral reserves, gold reserves. We have a lot of different reserves. And if you don't prepare properly, if you don't keep your reserves up to date, you can cut when bad things happen. You're not prepared. And it's the government's job, above all, to make sure that they're prepared. So we are now going to position people to be well prepared with Bitcoin through the strategic reserves at the state level, where they don't have a money printer. At the federal level, they've got a money printer. They're able to print all the money that they need. They can't do that at the state level. They need another tool in their toolbox. And we believe that Bitcoin can be that tool. And going back to the other types of reserves, think about what happens when you don't have the reserves in place. We saw what happened in this country when the pandemic moved across the country. We did not have enough medical supplies. There were doctors and nurses wearing garbage bags. They were wearing garbage bags. It's really incredible, how bad things can be if we don't prepare. So we need to have more Bitcoin, just like we need to have medical supplies. We need to have Bitcoin to be able to protect ourselves from these types of really extreme bad events. And on the geopolitical side, we're entering this very, very, very divisive time, this very maybe multipolar time where countries that are getting together in BRICS, Russia, China, Iran, these are countries that don't want the United States to lead anymore. We're entering this multipolar era, and we need to have more tools in our toolbox. And I believe certainly that Bitcoin will be a great way for us to hedge as we enter that multipolar world, and also be a tool for what I'd almost call like inflation insurance.
Absolutely. As you just said, back in 2020 when we had to print, all that money, right? We're just now seeing the ramifications and dealing with inflation, right? Dealing with the consequences of the infinite money printer, which inevitably we're going to have to print more money, right? It doesn't matter who's going to be in office, right? And we all know Trump is definitely going to print more money. So insurance is, I guess, that can be a great way to put it. And I think every state, like you said, should have Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset. Now, I do know that Florida has that already in place, or at least based on what I saw or read. Am I correct by saying that, or they were in the talks of it? Because I thought they already have it, and I'm here in Florida, by the way.
So Florida doesn't have it yet. There's people working on it. Certainly, there's a lot of people that want to see it happen in Florida, and I think it would be great for the state of Florida to have it, but they don't have it today. But we would love to help them to be able to acquire a strategic reserve.
Okay, excellent. All right, no problem. Yeah, so another great point that you brought up is BRICS, and we know that Russia and all these other countries definitely want to, they've been trying to avoid tariffs, right, and sanctions, and all the other punishment that we like to deal out or dish out as the country of the United States, right? So they're looking to get around, the U.S. dollar and the petrodollar and all that good stuff, right? So what they're doing is they're looking to transact in other, currencies such as rubles, or the Chinese yuan, and then now we have Bitcoin, and we had Russia. The Putin said that nobody can stop Bitcoin. So do you think? I know we do know that, but I want to hear your thoughts on, do you think that has something to do with why Donald Trump is more adamant and more hasty, and real, you know, acting real urgently to get this done as far as Bitcoin reserves asset?
We gotta compete, and this is the big reason why we're also working hard at the state level, because we want to make sure our country leads. And I think certainly some people do believe that Trump will sign an executive order, and we hope that he does, because regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, you got to do what's right for the country. And we know that having Bitcoin in a reserve would be very, very good for the country. At bare minimum, we should make sure that we do not auction off. We got to make sure we don't auction off the 200,000 Bitcoin we currently hold at the US Marshals. We need to put that into the strategic Bitcoin reserve. And I think Trump understands that. And that's why he'll probably sign an executive order. I don't know if it's the one that we wrote or someone else wrote. I don't know if it will be one that he comes up with on his own, but he's certainly going to be putting one out there. And there's certainly going to be an attempt to put one out there. We'll see if he does it. His campaign promise was, we will keep 100% of the Bitcoin. I think he needs to come through on that promise and sign the executive order. But even if he doesn't, we'll work at the state level. We'll get it done at the state level. And then, of course, at the federal level as well. Senator Lummis is doing great work, and we think she should be continuing to work because we want her to be successful. We need to enshrine this in law. Even if Trump signs an executive order, we still need to enshrine the strategic Bitcoin reserve into law. We need legislation that does that. So regardless of whether or not the executive order gets signed, we got to have the legislation.
All right, excellent. So, quick question. So, how does this benefit, or how does this change the quote unquote taxation and usage of Bitcoin for those that want to use it and spend it on a day to day basis? Does this have any implications with that, or any changes to that, or how would this play out with people that want to spend their Bitcoin, even though we all know you probably shouldn't spend your Bitcoin?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a great question to be asked about the taxation. I think we need to eventually get rid of capital gains on Bitcoin. I don't know if we're there yet. This legislation doesn't do it. This executive order doesn't do it. We aren't there yet. We are working towards that though. And we believe it's an important goal because Bitcoin, it's money, and you got to use it as money, and you can't use it as money right now because it's so hard to spend it when you have all these taxable events taking place. Imagine if you went to the store, and then you went to the grocery store, and then you went to the gas station, and then you went to Starbucks, and you bought all these things. You bought it all in cash with the dollar. The dollar goes up in purchasing power all the time too, but we don't have to track every time we purchase something with the dollar, we don't have to track it down. We don't have any sort of taxable event when you spend the dollar. And that makes the dollar very, very easy to spend. We need to be able to get there with Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin needs to be used as money, and it can't be used as money if we have these very burdensome taxes. So we don't get rid of it here, but we certainly believe we should one day.
Excellent. All right. So, as far as for everyone tuning in and that want to be a part of the movement, how can they help out? And first of all, how can they help your movement? And then we'll jump into the second question: is how can people reach out to their local senators, congressmen, and inspire or get them on board? Right? How do they go about doing that? And help us out with that.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you again for asking and for having me on the show. If people want to reach out and they want to engage and they want to interact, they can sort of support us financially. We are raising money. We do need to raise money to pass this stuff into law. We're just a nonprofit. We only get to pass these things into law if we have support from our donors. And a lot of our donors love us and they support us and they want to make sure that we're successful. So that's one way that people can help. They can also reach out to lawmakers and let them know, hey, we like this stuff. We want to make sure that you pass it into law so you can write letters. We have letter writing campaigns all the time, and our supporters constantly are writing letters. In fact, recently we did a drive, and we got 190,000 letters, over 190,000 letters sent to state lawmakers asking them to support this legislation. Overall, we've had our advocates send over 250,000 letters. And so we are in this great place where we can help those advocates to send letters quickly. So keep an eye out for those opportunities. That's a great way to be able to make sure this stuff gets across the finish line. So you can also, if you want to, I would say set up a meeting with your lawmaker. You need to directly engage with your lawmaker, and you need to convince them that Bitcoin is valuable. You don't have to educate them all the way. You just need to tell them and say, listen, I support Bitcoin and I believe you should support Bitcoin. If you want to get deep in the education, you can, but some people are not well positioned to do that. And so what we do is we say, educate the lawmaker as much as you can. And then if you get to a point where it's beyond your capabilities, you can send them to us. That's what we do. That's our work. That's what we do for full time, is we educate lawmakers on the benefits of Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. So those are really some incredible ways that you can have an impact on your lawmaker. Help support us have an impact on your lawmaker by donating, write to your lawmaker, and also you can directly educate them by having meetings with them as well.
Excellent. Yeah. A lot of people seem to forget that our congressmen and our officials that we do elect into these positions actually do work for us, right? We've been so brainwashed and, so used to them, taking advantage of their situation or their position in power, right? When they're in power because of us, right? So I think it's
That's right.
very important that not only that we reach out and explain to them what we want and, explain to them the power of Bitcoin as well. And if we're not able to, like Dennis just said, make sure you forward that information over to him. Make sure you donate. But a lot of these things play into what I've been speaking about over the last few months, right? Learning about your rights, learning about the Constitution, learning about the roles that the government officials play. Because again, a lot of us think that the government officials are in charge. They're not in charge. We are in charge. We, the people, have the power, right? And if
That's
you
right.
don't know your power, then you're going to continue to be taken advantage of, right? So, and I think the best way to, to make sure that they are listening is right with you can donate as well, and you can put into play getting together with other individuals and making sure that, hey, if you don't do what we say to do, because we, the people, are in charge, then we're going to vote you out. Is there any other recommendations that would, kind of like, tell them, hey, it's in your best interest to do what the people want to do, because we know there's donors and we know there's other people, that special interest groups and lobbyists that have a lot of influence as well on these politicians, right? Because money talks, right? Like you said, um, everything costs money, right? Everything takes money. It's going to cost money, right, to get these things done, right? So, is there any other suggestions or recommendations that you would say for any legislators or congressmen that don't want to get with the program, right? Because in actuality, it's something that's going to benefit not only them but the state of whoever and the constituents of who they represent. What other methods do you recommend getting congressmen on board if they're reluctant or they're stuck in the old times and don't want to move forward with the technology in the future?
Yeah, so you're right, actually, and we need to have a good conversation about this. We need more people to run for office that are Bitcoiners. I said it earlier. There's a lawmaker. I've said it many times before. There's a lawmaker who reached out to me. He said, "I just became a lawmaker. I just won my race, and I've been a Bitcoiner since 2017, and I want to introduce strategic Bitcoin reserve legislation. I want to be the first thing that I introduce. So we need a lot more of that. And as you said earlier, the government is for the people and by the people, and we need more people to run for office and to win, and they are winning, and that's going to change. That's going to be a big thing that changes. And the lawmakers need to be beholden to the people, and we need a lot more of that. And I think Bitcoin will help with that quite a bit. So you do need those things to happen, and we highly encourage it. Actually, we've been training people. I've trained a whole new group of people to run for office recently, started the training. I told people we need to have more Bitcoiners running. We need more great people. And Bitcoiners are the best because they're so thoughtful and they think very deeply and they think hard about these things. And we want people like that in government. So we need more Bitcoiners to run and to win, because that's really going to help us get to a place where we need to with policy.
All right, Dennis. So what state are you running in, and when are you going to start your campaign?
Listen, I'm great where I am right now. I can help Bitcoin in such amazing ways. But if I was going to run, the biggest thing for me is we have all this division in this country, and we also are not thinking far enough in advance. A lot of things are coming at us really fast, and we're not prepared for it, and our lawmakers are not prepared for it. They need to be prepared for it because the American people depend on the government to protect them. That's why we need a strategic Bitcoin reserve. That's why we need to be very thoughtful about a lot of things that are coming down the pipeline. But we also need to be able to work together. We can't get anything done in this country anymore because we're so divided all the time. The left and the right, they hate each other. So we need to bring people back together so that we can get the business of running the government done.
Excellent, man. Yeah, so many great points, so many great thoughts, and like you said, Bitcoiners are some of the most amazing people in the world. And not only that, we're worldwide, right? And even though it's something that we're working on for America, it's actually going to benefit everyone worldwide, right? Because
Absolutely.
network effect, right? The network effect,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
absolutely. So I just think it's an amazing job that you've been doing, man. Like I said, I've been watching you for a while. Came a long way from the clubhouse days. You look very sharp. I feel underdressed, but
I wish
if
I
I
could be
knew you
dressed
were
like
going to
you,
show up,
Chris. It's a little, you look much more comfortable than me. I got to have this tight thing around my neck all the time. I wish I could be dressing like you, but yes, absolutely. It was an honor to be with you today after all these years of being on Clubhouse and Spaces with you.
absolutely, man. So thank you so much. Where can people find you? Do you have a website? And I know you mentioned that again, but just again for people that maybe tuning in late, because now we have over 100 people watching. So I'm sure some people tuned in late. Can you let them know again, just one more time, what it is that you do, and where they can find you, and how they can reach out, and how they can donate, and where to follow you on Twitter, because you got a huge following already. But there's 100 people on here that may not or may not even know about any of the things that you're doing. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. We do a lot of work educating lawmakers and regulators on the benefits of Bitcoin. We help them pass pro Bitcoin policies into law. We create the models from them, everything from model policies at the state level to model executive orders. And we want those lawmakers to use our models so that we can make the United States the best place in the world for Bitcoin. If you want to read more about what we're doing, you can certainly, I post a lot of it on my social media on X. That's where I'm the biggest as far as the most time I spend. And then you can also go to satoshiaction.io and you can read more about the wins that we've had in the past.
Excellent, excellent. So thank you so much for coming out and joining me on the show. I look forward to seeing and keeping updated with what you got going on. And like I said, looking sharp, man. Keep doing what you're doing. And I look forward to seeing way more states right adopting the Bitcoin standard and adding it to their strategic Bitcoin reserve. Not only that, I'm looking forward to Donald Trump, signing that executive order as well, because I think he's definitely got that fire under his butt, especially with Putin, talking about Bitcoin and everything that's going on, international, and everything going on with BRICS, like you also mentioned earlier. So I think it's more imperative now than ever to make sure that Bitcoin is, on our balance sheet and part of the strategic reserve, or else we're going to fall behind. And so we don't want to do
Absolutely.
that. And so salute to you and shout out to you, and thank you for joining me. And we'll talk soon, man. And much love, man. Take care.
Thank you, Chris. Talk soon.
All right, take care. Shout out to Dennis, everybody. Dennis came through with the clutch, and again, he's doing a lot of great work, man. So you just gotta admire someone that doesn't give up and someone that keeps continuing to do what they're doing. And you know, he's like he said, he's actually doing this for the future of America. It's actually for your children, right? It's actually something that's going to benefit us when we're 10, 20 years from now, right? So we got to make sure that we are understanding uh, the ramifications, or the benefits, or the consequences of doing this or not doing this, right, in the long term. So again, shout out to Dennis. Make sure you guys are, following him. He already has a huge following. So if you guys are not following him already, make sure you guys go do so. I've actually tweeted already his his handle, so make sure you guys go follow. So we had to jump right into the interview because I know he has a lot of time and his time is very valuable, so I didn't want to jump into any of the TA and any of that stuff right away. We wanted to jump into the good stuff, right? Jump into the meat and potatoes right away. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like, share, subscribe. And what we're going to do right now is now we're going to jump into the Bitcoin price, the Bitcoin price, the Bitcoin price. Make sure that you guys head over to swanbitcoin.com/Bitcoin Chris, as I've been telling you guys for the past 4+ years. Just stack your Bitcoin and chill, right? Get your $10 free if you haven't already. And there's no fees on the first $10,000 that you buy on Swan. So make sure you guys do so. I know that, through the referrals, over $1 million in buys on Swan, thanks to the power of Clubhouse and social media and just having that conviction and helping those all over the world, not only just here in America, but people all over the world, buy some Bitcoin and chill, right? And now look at us, right? We're at $100,000 Bitcoin, right? Which we all know was coming, right? And the next stop is $1 million Bitcoin. So, and then $10 million Bitcoin, right? And then $100 million Bitcoin. So these are all 10x increments that we would want to look at Bitcoin through, right? And we just want to make sure that we keep doing what we do, right? No matter what. So let's go ahead and jump into the Bitcoin price and let's see what Bitcoin's doing. And oh yeah, don't forget to get your Fold app, right? Because you need to get the Fold app. And the reason why you want to get your Fold app, guys, is because, like I say on every single live video with you guys, man, if you are paying your bills and you are not using the Fold card, or if you don't want to use your Fold card, cool, but you need to be smarter than using a debit card. You shouldn't be using any debit cards unless it's the Fold card, right? Because you're actually going to get Bitcoin back, Satoshi's back. But then you guys should be using, again, your credit card if you're not going to use the Fold card, because you're going to get points, and points can turn into cash, or free nights in a hotel, or whatever it is that you like, right? If you use the Hilton Honor Rewards points, there's the Marriott uh, credit cards, right? You have your American Express credit cards, right? You're going to get points back, right, for using your credit. But in my opinion, the best app and the best card to use is going to be your Fold card, because again, if you're getting Bitcoin back, and we know Bitcoin is going to continue to increase in price over the years, then stack your Bitcoin that way, and you're going to pay your bills anyway, right? So you might as well use Fold. Go ahead and scan that QR code in the top left or right hand side of your screen, or click the link in the bio. But besides that, let's just jump into the Bitcoin price, the Bitcoin price, the Bitcoin prices. Jump right into it. So we're going to jump right into it. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. All right, cool. Here we are. We're looking at Bitcoin right now, and I had my fibs drawn from that high that we hit today, and then we hit the low, and then we came right up and hit that 6.18. So a lot of people talk crazy and talk crap about TA, and that's fine. Not everybody likes TA, and I don't expect everybody to like TA, but you can't say that it doesn't work, all right? Because it does work. It's about probability and possibility, right? So here we again came down. This was your all-time high. We hit 108, came down, and we touched 105. So a nice almost $3,000 drop, and then we came right up to the 618 level here. It actually came a little higher, and then here we go, dropping again. So this is your Fibonacci retracement, high to low. You're going to get your 618 Fibonacci retracement, and then we came back down, right? And this would be your double bottom, in my opinion. Maybe we come. Uh, let me actually. What's the time frame that I'm on? I'm actually on a 5-minute time frame. Let me zoom out here. We're gonna look at the hourly time frame, guys. Let's zoom out. Let's zoom out. Let's zoom out. Looking at the hourly time frame, we are looking kind of bearish, because look at this. We're headed down on the momentum. The money flow still thick in the green. We could pump a little bit. So we do have. Is that a trend line that I have here? Yes, it is. Boom. So maybe come down to touch 104. We do have support here at 104, 103, 103, 104. So I would say, let me draw that trend line here. Boom. I would expect a bounce at these levels. If we lose this level, then we have another support down here at 101,000, which is right around where this 200-day moving average would be. So possibly come back down if we can lose. If we do lose this 103 down to 102 to 101, and hopefully we can stay above these levels. So, uh, you know, keep in mind that not only is the network effect going to make Bitcoin stronger, guys, that the price will obviously increase more, right? Because there's going to be less and less Bitcoin available and less people selling their Bitcoin, right? So if each and every single state decides to purchase Bitcoin and put Bitcoin on their strategic reserves, not and then on top of that, the United States Treasury, right? On top of, because that would be considered, if I'm not mistaken, the District of Columbia, which the United States of America is a corporation which is the District of Columbia, right? So you would have to understand that the District of Columbia would not only, purchase through the Treasury, but then all 50 states, right? Uh, Minus District of Columbia, right? Washington D.C. So that would be a lot of buying pressure, and they would not sell, right? They wouldn't sell ever, right? Because they really don't need to sell if that was the case, right? Um, Hopefully, right? Hopefully they understand it, right, and wouldn't want to sell. But that's besides the point. That would be a ton of buying pressure, regardless, right? So I want you guys to think about that. Not only are nation states, because we're just talking about America here, right? We're talking about the states. We're not talking about the people. We're not talking about El Salvador. We're not talking about Russia. We're not talking about China. We're not talking about anything else except for the states of America, right? Your Florida, your Texas, your states, right? So imagine when they start purchasing Bitcoin, right? And I'm sure it's most likely going to be much higher than it is now, right? It's just only going to not only increase the network effect and increase the price, guys. It's going to increase the scarcity because there won't be as much Bitcoin available. So as you can see here, I did draw a flag here a while ago, and I said my target was up here at 108, and look at that. I was off by like $100, less than $100. So that was the target that I had here from a while ago. Well, not even too long ago, but I was anticipating that move, right? So again, we do have our levels here: 112, 120, 130, and so those are the same levels. We're gonna have to watch and see what's going to happen with the Bitcoin price. But let's zoom out a little bit more, guys. Look at the 4-hour time frame. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, we are looking at a bounce at 104. If we're going to drop down to the 20-day moving average on the 4-hour time frame, we do have a support at 97 if we decide to lose those levels I was speaking about earlier, which would be around 102, 100,000. So, as I said, I know most people don't really care too much about TA, but this is your opportunity to stop buying the very tops, right? And it's irrelevant and it doesn't matter. We all buy the tops, right? I've bought in the tops several times, and we're gonna DCA because it doesn't matter. It's about the accumulation. It's about accumulation, guys. So it doesn't matter, right? Follow the DCA rule. Follow Michael Saylor if you guys are scared, right? Um, you know, I share a lot of information with you guys, right? And then I always get messages and people calling and saying, yeah, man, it's so crazy that you always share Bitcoin or stupid stuff, or the DCA, or even just even posts in the past when Bitcoin was at 11,000 or 3,000, and all that good stuff, right? So it's just funny to see. Um, it's amazing to see how far Bitcoin has came, and we are still early. So a lot of people think that they are late to Bitcoin. There is no late to Bitcoin. So make sure you guys are stacking away, right? Stack your Bitcoin and chill. So looking at the 4-hour time frame, looks like we are starting to head down just a little bit here. So be on the lookout. If we start to head down below these levels here, then we can definitely expect a pullback, as well as money flow still green. So we're looking pretty good. But what I would say is just be careful, and let's look at daily time frame here. Zoom out just a little bit more. Daily still looking good, but we have wicked. As you can see, this is a nice wick here, and if that's a wick, this could become a hangman or a torpedo to come down, right? So again, expecting that 103 to possibly be a level to bounce at, or we can come down to 101. I've already said these levels, so I think the strongest support is 101,000, $101,000. So be on the lookout for that. Let me put another trend line here because it looks a lot easier. It looks a lot more cleaner on the daily time frame. So we're going to have to see if this plays out. The 20-day moving average is 99,000. So just keep a lookout for these things, guys. And let's last but not least look at the weekly time frame. Weekly still looking pretty good. Um, Long term, I did say this is like a flag, right? So one of these flags. Let me pull up the flag here, or pennant, right? Let's look at these patterns, right? If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like, share, subscribe, and thank you guys for tuning in, and shout out to Dennis for tuning in. And if you guys miss Dennis on the show, then just rewatch this live stream. But let's look at the bull pennant here. We have an upslope. I think it's an upsloping pennant or upsloping flag, right? Something like this, right? Ascending triangle. That's just what I called it previously, but I thought it was another pattern that looked a little more slopey. A little more slopey. Is this it? Yeah, so it's a bullish ascending triangle. So I was right. So yeah, that's what we're looking like. Bitcoin is doing here on the weekly. So if that's looking like that on the weekly, then that's crazy, right? You see how these patterns look the same? So excellent, excellent. Let's look at the MicroStrategy because I saw MicroStrategy is dumping, and we had a bunch of people um, upset about MicroStrategy. So let's take a look at MicroStrategy here on the daily time frame. We broke that trend line, and we are at the 20-day moving average, which I said yesterday. The market has closed. So we closed at 386. Boom. I said this yesterday, guys. We'll go back and watch the video. I said I expect us. We have support down here at 350 on the daily, but looking like we are right at that. Oh, we didn't even hit it yet. 20-day moving average is 378, and then we do have our green red dot here on MicroStrategy. So for those of you that were waiting to buy some MicroStrategy, just DCA in and chill. We do have a 200-day moving average at 308, which would be an $80 drop in MicroStrategy. So hopefully, like I said, we're looking pretty bearish because we have actually broken this trend line. But if you can remain optimistic, we have broken the trend line here, but then we came right back up, right? So this could possibly do the same thing, break down, and then head back up and still continue on this trend line. But we're going to have to watch and see. Unfortunately, we do have that red dot on the daily time frame. So let's just zoom into the hourly time frame. We're under both the 20 and the 200. So this means we could definitely be coming down lower. Like I said, I did mention this level yesterday in the live stream. So next level of support is 375, 380, 375, like I said. And then we have 365, 357. So be on the lookout for these levels as opportunities to DCA once again. So MicroStrategy is coming down, coming down, coming down. He's tapping the ATM, right? He's going to sell more MicroStrategy to buy more Bitcoin, and then this will eventually maybe have a V shape recovery. I apologize. Excellent. So yep, that's that. Let me make sure you guys hit that like, share, subscribe if you guys are not already subscribed to the YouTube channel. Thank you guys for tuning in with us here today. Head over to swanbitcoin.com/Bitcoin Chris, and also head over to bitcoin.fiatdad.com and stack your Bitcoin and chill, okay? Um, stack your Bitcoin and chill, and also pre-order the new book. So let's jump right into the next thing, which is going to be our tweets. Let's look over some tweets, and we'll actually read the executive order that was published and that was shared by Dennis as well. Yeah, what's up with this? What's up with the internet, man? Yeah, crazy. Appreciate you guys liking, sharing, and subscribing. Let's see here. Here it is. I can confirm that my team has finalized a model executive order for the president, as Dennis has stated on the show a little bit earlier today, and the president for the president to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve. So Uh, the great thing is that, like he mentioned earlier, is that he's making it easier for them to adopt and to have legislation without having to, draft it all on their own, right? And like he said, they can either, accept it as it is or make changes, or, just completely disregard it in general. But, you know, it's a pretty good start. It's a pretty good, you know, model for them to utilize to uh, bring this into production and bring this to fruition and to have eventually be signed by Donald Trump. So, what an excellent accomplishment and an excellent thing to great news, right? Great news, but Bitcoin is still. Let's look at Bitcoin right now. Actually, let's double check on the Bitcoin price. So we just got this news, right? So let's look at Bitcoin again real quick. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set an alert here, and I'll set an alert above 106. All right. So if we break 106, right? We break 106 too. We're going to head down lower. If we break 106 or 107 here, then we should head higher. But we're going to have to see. So let's jump back to the Twitter. Excellent. So let's continue here. All right. So MicroStrategy on sale. All right. I can't wait for those who join the program to give their testimonies for the 12 USC 401 lawful money, right? The information is there for everybody to, read on their own, right? But, if you don't know what to do, then you don't know what to do, right? So that's why this is very important and very dope that we are not only sharing the information and learning from other people that know the information and sharing the information, learning from other people that know the information and sharing the information. What testimony and what is lawful money? Uh, this is something that you guys should probably look up or join our course, because we are going to be going over how to redeem. Or actually, let me go ahead and scroll down here a little bit and show you guys what it is, right? Excellent. Are you ready to stop throwing your hard earned money into the tax pit, right? What if I told you there's a legal way to stop paying taxes on your W 2 income and even to get money back from what you've already paid to the IRS in the last 3 years? Possibly even more, right? Sounds like a dream? Well, it's not a dream. It's a dream that is backed by the U.S. law, but it's not a dream. And it's not as crazy as it sounds, right? In the masterclass, we'll show you how to unlock, the information. It's not secret, right? It's just in a book, and it's, information that we don't know, right? Because, we weren't taught these things. And using the law to reclaim what's yours. Just pure legal power. No tricks, no gimmicks. Everything is lawful, legal. All right, so this is what you get. We'll tell you, we're going to go over lawful money, how to use it to your advantage. because there's two sides of the ledgers, guy. There's the side with the Federal Reserve System, Federal Reserve notes, and then there's actual lawful money, which is the American, our money, right, as Americans. But we use Federal Reserve notes because it's just easier for usage, right? Everything's a Federal Reserve note basically that we use now. We just have to redeem it and claim it in lawful money, which I've gone over a few times, right? The specific law that allows you to pay, to opt out of paying taxes with your W-2 income. So we go over the law, right? And everything that you need to know to officially and legally, lawfully opt out of your W-2 taxes, right? By claiming your money. First of all, you're not working for a profit. You're working and you're exchanging your value for, money. So an exchange shouldn't be taxed. But if you don't know these things and you've been doing the same thing that you've been doing for the last however many years, right? We've all been working for ever, right? Since you were probably 16. I know Publix lets you work at 15. So, if you've been working since 15 or 16 and you were told that you got to pay taxes every year, even when I went in the clubhouse room the other day, and talked to, the Bitcoiners in there and told them, about a couple things that they could do and, let them know that you don't have to pay taxes if you don't want to, because it is voluntary, that, even the Bitcoiners are up in arms and shook, and, you know, even there's sheep even in the Bitcoin space, unfortunately, right, saying how you can get arrested and all that stuff. Uh, yeah, if you don't pay taxes and you do it the wrong way, but if you're doing it the right way, there's a right way and a wrong way to do everything, right? So if you do it the right way, then and you're doing it legally, lawfully, and you're using the law, and I'm showing you the law, then what are you scared about? And what are you like? What are you talking about? Like, what is there to be scared about? But you're so scared of this, voluntary system that you have contracted into, you know, that's the power of Bitcoin and learning your rights, right? And knowing your laws and just knowing what's really going on out here. But you got people out here that are just sheep, even in the Bitcoin community, in the Bitcoin space. And it is what it is, right? If you want to continue to pay taxes, then that's your decision. It's voluntary. If you want to opt out using the law, right, and have more money for your family and to invest in Bitcoin or to do other things with it, you have that option as well. The choice is yours, right? But you have to educate yourself, right? So, you can claim back even up to 3 years of your taxes and you will get a refund if you want to do so. Again, you would have to follow the steps and use the law to your advantage and the knowledge to your advantage and notify. And, we go through that step by step on how to file the information, what file and what forms to file, and the letter to send as well. So this isn't a loophole, guys. This is your rights and your ability to comprehend and to apply the knowledge, right? So there's other people that do teach this as well. So I'm not the only person, because this is not my information. This is law. This is the law, right? So it doesn't matter who you get the information from. The most important thing is that you get the information and that you apply the knowledge, right, and the information. So if you're interested in that, uh, here is the tweet. I'll just retweet it. It's only $149 for the regular class, $199 to join the Discord and to get the Q&A, and you get the replay. But the class is going to be Friday. So I think if you guys are going to, get your tax refund, right, on in next year, right, get your refund, and then, um, get your money back, claim that lawful money, right? So it is what it is. Let's continue, because I actually want to touch on a little bit more things here that I think would be beneficial for my viewers. Yeah. So let's continue here. Same, I have to retweet these things all over and over again, because repetition is key, right? And I want you guys to understand that, we have rights and we have to. Nobody talks about our rights. Nobody talks about the Constitution. Nobody's talking about our God given, inalienable, or inalienable, unalienable rights. However you say it, right? But this video here is actually a great video. Let me see if I can get the audio to work, because I think the audio sometimes doesn't work for when I share the screen. So let me see if it works this time. Let me do this again. Also share audio.
Association sees fit, and they had loaded the court with all these attorneys, and they was, oh,
Yep,
you're
there it
that
is.
guy. My
I looked
up at him and I said, Judge, I'm not practicing. I know.
Let me bring this back, guys. Pay attention. This is very important. So just make sure that you guys are paying attention. And it's funny because a lot of the things that he's saying, shout out to all 160 of you guys tuned in. Hit that like, share, subscribe. But I want you guys to pay attention to what he's saying because I've actually tweeted a lot of these case laws and I've actually said a lot of these things already, which lets me know that I know, obviously I know what I'm talking about because I wouldn't be talking about it if I didn't know what I'm talking about. But it just shows that, this is an old video too, right? You can tell by like the resolution and, how it looks, right? But again, just pay attention. I'm not going to say too much. I've already been talking about this for the last few months, as I just mentioned, the Constitution, our rights, lawful money, all the stuff that I've been learning, right? If I learn something, I want to make sure I share that information with you guys. The information with their promissory notes, the information with our contracts that we sign into. I'm going to touch on, driving or traveling yet again, because, we had some people shared a video yesterday and, I'm gonna touch on that, but let's just listen to this real quick.
Know what the hell I'm doing. And the whole court broke out laughing. He said, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like somebody with a sense of humor. He said, but that doesn't change anything, son. You have to have a license to practice law. And I said, Your Honor, I'm an unenfranchised common law free man. I live at the common law. I am not a participant in any tontine schemes of limited liability on a joint venture for profit with an insurable interest requiring me to participate in these illegal corporate Ponzi schemes. I am just Joe Blow from Kokomo, down on the street. I just live at the common law. And I have a right to work and contract my labor, my skill, and my time of life as I see fit, not as some third-party arbitrary and capricious bar association sees fit. And they had loaded the court with all these attorneys, and they were, whoa, you hear that guy? I said, Your Honor, the state of Michigan arbitrarily and erroneously converted my right to work into a privilege and issued a license and a fee for it. That's unconstitutional, Your Honor. Marbury versus Madison, 5 U.S. 137, 1803. Anything in conflict or repugnancy is null and void of law. Okay? Can you see that? Marbury versus Madison. And since the state converted my right into a privilege and issued a license and a fee for it, Murdoch versus Pennsylvania, no state may convert a secured liberty into a privilege and issue a license and a fee for it. And if they do, Shuttlesworth versus Birmingham, Alabama says I may ignore the license and the fee and engage in the right with impunity. That means you can't punish me. And U.S. versus Bishop, 412 U.S. 346 defines willfulness as an...
I have to stop it right there. I got to stop it right there because those three case laws that he stated right there is so important and it's crazy because again I've already stated and shared these cases. Like I said, once I found out that it's so funny because my son is 14 years old and he's more aware of the law than most of you guys probably on this live, right? He knows. I have him read these case laws and it's funny. I actually pull it up because it's on my notepad here. I'm gonna find it and show you guys. Just give me 1 second. I have a lot of notes here, but let me find the notes here. Right, there it is. Cool. Let me look. Let me get the camera to see what's going on. Make sure I don't have I think I have the mirror effect on. So give me 1 second. Let me fix this real quick. Boop. Turn off mirror effect. Yep. Turn it off. There it is. Boom. All right. Now we can flip this bad boy back around. Flip this bad boy back around. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I'm just, I'm not even gonna do too much, but I want you guys to see. I'm sure, yeah, you guys can see that. All right, cool. Let me just scroll down. That's Truth in Lending Act. If you get denied credit, closed accounts, child support, how it's illegal, and how somebody already sued child support agency for them committing fraud because they're saying that it's for the child, but meanwhile it's a Title 4D, and it's for like everyone that's included in the actual hearing is getting paid. So it's conflict of interest, and they've already been sued and already been decided in law that it doesn't benefit the child. So let's continue. I think these the laws right here. Yep, Miller. You see that? Miller versus U.S. Cool. Marbury. See that right there? It says Marbury versus Madison. What did the guy just say in the video? Marbury versus Madison. Any constitution or any laws that conflict with the United States Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land, is null and void. Um, Murdoch versus Pennsylvania. We already everything that it's so funny. Like I said, I've been on this, bro, and it's crazy because it's like it just shows confirmation and showing that I'm aligned, right? So let's continue. Shuttleworth versus Birmingham, Alabama. I think he just said that. Damn, what did I do? Scroll back up. Scroll back down. These things are important to know, right? There shall be no sanction or penalty imposed upon one because they exercise their constitutional rights. That's Sherrar versus Cullen, Thompson versus Smith. The right to travel, of a citizen to travel is not a mere privilege, but a common right, which he has under the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We have the state cannot, what he just said, the state cannot diminish the people's rights. Oh, no, he didn't say that one. Due process of law according to the law of the land, which is the common law. We have um, so many. I have so many on here. It's just so funny. Traffic. But I say that to say, I say that to say this, guys. It's like I say that to say it is very important that you know your rights because if you don't know your rights and you're thinking that you're doing something that's illegal and you're actually not doing something that's illegal, right? You're doing something that's lawful, right? And that you're able to do, but you got all these sheep telling you that oh, it's illegal because they've been indoctrinated and they've been told, or they didn't read, right? If you don't read and you don't know your rights, but you're sitting here arguing with people online or telling them that they're wrong or telling them that they don't know what they're talking about or whatever the case may be, right? If you don't know the law, then you are ignorant of the law, and ignorance of the law is no excuse. But I would highly recommend that you shut the hell up, right? Because you don't know what you're talking about. So, people that go online, and we're going to show an example of this, even though he's a legal immigrant, we're going to touch on this in just a moment. But an illegal immigrant, got pulled over and was, under questioned by the police, right? And I'm not saying anything about his status, right? Because I think everybody should be in here and come into the country the right way. That's not what we are the topic of subject here, but we're going to jump into that in just a minute. But anyways, let's continue with this video. I'll digress and we'll jump into what I'm talking about right now in just a second.
An evil motive or intent to avoid a known duty or task under the law with a moral certainty, I submit, Your Honor. I couldn't have done an evil task because I was totally following the Constitution and the U.S. Supreme Court. I would submit that prosecution counsel's burden is to prove that I did willfully and knowingly avoid a known duty or task under the law, namely to get the license. And I would submit he specifically precluded he cannot perform his task, and therefore I'd motion for dismissal with prejudice failure to state a cause of action for which relief can be granted, and I'd kind of like to collect my costs and fees for having to defend this frivolous, spurious complaint. The judge rolls back in his chair with a great big smile, and he turns to counsel for the prosecution. He says, "Well, Mr. Prose, what do you think we ought to do about this young gentleman?" The prosecution bounced back. "How about we honor the motion to dismiss, Your Honor?" The judge says, "Good answer, because I don't think you're ready for this kid today." And the whole court broke out laughing. An old gentleman walked up to me and he said, "Son, I just want to shake your hand and tell you, you got to have like King Kong, because you just slammed the Bar Association right into the ground. On top of that, I've been an attorney for 57 years, and I just want to shake your hand, sir, and tell you that that was one of the most magnificent arguments that I've ever had the privilege to hear in a court of law." Now, he was an honest attorney, and he realized what kind of a chain was around his ankle with this Bar Association. And these lawyers, they resent that. They really do. They're people just like you. They don't like to have any chains on them. But they hadn't had anybody quite show them how to get those chains off. And when they saw somebody do it in their own skill, with their own, with their own cards, on their own playing field, it actually impressed the hell out of them. I had several gentlemen come up and shake my hand that day. Needless to say, the case was dismissed, and I've been helping little people get in jam for years. Every time I see some little person get jammed, I'm out there flipping that wrench. Zingy, zingy, zingy. And I flip that wrench on them so good that usually they just back off. Dr. Kevorkian was a perfect example. The poor man was just trying to help these poor people. They were jamming him every which way but loose.
Boom. So, again, it's very important that you understand your rights, right? It's very important that you understand what's going on, because if not, you're gonna go in that courtroom. They're gonna act like they gonna act like you don't know. Well, they this is what happens every day, right? There's so many people that they take advantage of and impose unlawful or un you know technically it's legal, but it's illegal, right? There's a difference between lawful and legal, but they impose so many illegal judgments, right, against the people, right, because you don't know your rights. Um, so I'll digress on that for now. If you don't follow Gianna, make sure you go follow Gianna, because she actually has, and she posts a lot of good stuff as well. And it's funny because that's exactly what we're about to jump into. Because last night I was up late reading, learning per usual, and she actually I saw a post and that she actually shared it, and so I didn't share it, but she did tweet, and I responded to the tweet. But let's just jump into that right now, because I think it's very important, and it's not. I know I talk about it periodically, but you can never. I don't think anybody can hear this enough, right? Just so we're clear, you don't need a license to travel. You traveling in your own private automobile, handling your own private business, right? You do need a license to drive. Driving is a privilege, and driving is in commerce, guys. That means if you're driving for Lyft, driving a truck for money, driving an Uber, driving Uber Eats, driving for money, you need a license to drive for money. You do not need a license to travel in your own personal affairs, in your own personal matters. It's very simple. If you don't understand this or the Constitution, or call people who know their rights, quote unquote, because a lot of this is even what I was called in the room on Clubhouse by Bitcoiners. They're like, "You're talking about some sovereign citizenship." I'm like, yo, because there is a difference between a U.S. national and a U.S. citizen. And, citizens don't have the same rights as nationals, or, you guys are under that jurisdiction of um, District of Columbia, right? You have the 14th Amendment is what you go by, right? So that's not a topic for this conversation. You need to go look it up yourself, right? Because I can tell you everything. I can say the sky is blue, and I would still tell you guys to go look it up yourself, right? Go outside and make sure the sky's blue, even though we all know the sky's blue. Anyways, if you call people this name right here, then you're an idiot, right? Unfollow as soon as possible and keep being slaves, because that's exactly what you are. You are a slave. The fact that the Constitution says this and the Supreme Court has already ruled on this, yet you still want to spew out bullshit out of your mouth because you believe that, because you don't read, right? Because you don't read. Yeah, that's one thing. And you've been indoctrinated and enslaved to believe one thing when it's really not. You have the lowest IQ, and I don't want to be, associated with anyone with that low level of intelligence. This is America and not Nazi Germany. Okay. So that was sparked because of this actual video that we're going to watch. And I'm not saying that he, his. I'm just going to watch this here.
Your insurance. I
Turn this down a little bit on my end.
don't have driver license. I don't have
Why don't you have a
insurance.
driver's license?
I don't have it.
You don't have one at all?
Nothing.
So why are you driving a vehicle?
Because I want. The vehicle is my vehicle. That's why I'm driving.
But you need a driver's license to operate a vehicle.
I don't need it.
Yes, you do.
I don't need driver license.
Yes, you do.
No.
Yes, you do.
No.
I'm telling you.
Because
you
I have driver license. That's why you want to pull me.
No, I'm pulling you over because you're doing 88
No,
and
I don't
25.
have driver license to give you, sir.
Sir, keep
I'm
your hands out
sorry.
of your pockets.
For reason.
Because for my
Okay,
sake,
now, because you say that, okay.
I need your driver's license.
Because you told me to put it away, that's why I'm putting it inside.
I need your driver's license.
I don't have driver
and
license.
insurance. Yes.
I don't have.
Why?
Because I don't have.
Well, then what's your
I
name?
don't need driver license.
Then what's your name?
I don't have name.
You don't have a name.
Tell me your name and tell me the reason why you are arrested.
I'm Officer Sheriff Sapporo.
Okay, my name is Mr. X and I don't have driver license.
I need your first name, last name.
I don't have driver license, sir. Tell me the reason why you arrested me and show me
I
the
told
proof.
you why I'm
Sir,
talking.
I don't learn even fishing. Call another cab. That's
They're
it.
coming.
Okay, call because I don't.
All right. So we're not going to watch the whole entire video because obviously there's no need to. It escalates even further. So, that's something that we could obviously we can obviously see that's where it was headed, right? So, not only did Gianna say that he doesn't need one, I said you beat me to it. All the bootlickers and sheep in the comments, make me sick because, the reason why you don't need a license to travel is because it's the law, right? The law of the land, which is the Constitution. Okay, regardless of if he's here illegally or not, that's something that you're going to have to prove in the court of law. That's another thing. The cops are not the judge, jury, and the executioner. You are innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent. That's what you guys don't understand. And you're so used to cops being corrupt and doing things the wrong way for so long that you think it's okay, right? You guys think it's okay for cops to do what they do, and they're not allowed, and nor do they have authority to do what they do. So when somebody speaks up for their rights and stands up for their rights, you guys, act crazy or say stupid ass shit. So, uh, to further prove the point is, how do you know he wasn't operating in commercially, right? Because you have to travel. You need a license to travel commercial or operating in commerce, right? Which is commercial. Same thing. So the question or the response that Gianna said was, how do you know that he is, right? Right? How do you know that he is? They are going to have to prove that he is, right? And guess what? The cops are not the judge. So you have a right to due process, Fifth Amendment, right? Fifth Amendment, right? To a trial by jury. So just because somebody says something or the cops believe that you're in, breaking the law or whatever, or if you have broken the law, or if they believe you've broken the law, that's one thing, right? Then they'll take you in to custody, and then then you have to see the judge, right? And even at that point, guys, nothing should happen to you until you are found guilty, right? So if you're not, it's innocent till proven guilty, not guilty till proven innocent. Stop fucking flipping shit around, guys. Stop letting this shit happen. or you guys can go through and let the cops ruin your life, and let everything happen the way it's been happening, and then you're gonna just reap the consequences, right? Because most people don't know their rights. They'll be arguing with the cops on the side of the road. Not saying that what he was doing was right. I'm just saying that you know the law and the Constitution, law of the land, says that you don't need a license to travel. So he's actually 100% correct by telling the cops that he doesn't have one, he doesn't need one, because he really doesn't, right? Technically, there's no law requiring anyone to have a license to travel freely in their vehicle. The United States is a republic, not a monarch. But I wouldn't expect most people to know this, because they enjoy being slaves to their government, right? Versus what we just said earlier in the show is that the government is supposed to work for us. So if you understand and know what's going on, and if you do your research, as he's saying here, then you'll see that he's 100% correct, and he's absolutely right. But most people don't do any lick of research and don't read a lick of uh, law or case law or anything of that matters, right? So it is what it is. But I just find it hilarious that people are going to stick up for and try to say things that don't actually make any sense, or is against their own uh, interest, right? So our government is already bankrupt, which I didn't want to talk about with Dennis, right? Because that's a whole nother conversation. We're already bankrupt. The country is bankrupt, right? And the only lawful money is gold and silver, which they cannot give to us, or they will not give to us. So we have promissory notes, which is the Federal Reserve notes that we use today. And that's what we're using to operate with it. And then the only way for us to redeem lawful money, because we can't redeem those gold and silver coins, right, is to redeem things in lawful money. But that's what we talk about in the course, right? So make sure you guys join the course if you want to learn that. But as I said here, we give the bank 100. You want a loan from the bank for 100,000? Your promissory note creates the 100,000. They turn around and loan us our own money plus interest. And then this guy also says, this is true. I've audited mortgage and notes and verified it, which is why I made the video uh, showing you how to, beat a foreclosure, you know, and it's not what I say. Nothing that I share with you guys is what I'm saying. It's what the law says, and that's what I keep trying to tell you guys. It's like, my opinion is irrelevant. Your opinion is irrelevant, right? It's about what the law says, right? Because you can say whatever it is that you want to say, but if the Supreme Court has ruled in the constitutional and it's a constitutional protected activity, then guess what? It doesn't matter what you got to say about it, guys. It doesn't matter. And just because majority of the people don't know their rights or they get taken advantage of doesn't mean that the people that do know their rights are wrong. Right? So make sure you click that like, share, subscribe. There's 200 of you guys tuned in. I appreciate you guys watching today's stream. Let me see if there's anything else I want to go over before I end the stream with you guys here today. But, it's very important that we not only read the law, learn the law, stand up for your rights, learn your rights, read the Constitution, read these case laws that I've been tweeting for a while now. It's been a while since I actually tweeted these laws, because I tweet things and I just tweet so much that it definitely gets lost in the sauce. However, it doesn't stop you from reading, right? It doesn't stop you from learning about what's going on, right? And so I appreciate you guys actually tuning in and tuned in and just, rocking with me here today. And again, if you need your credit restored, we do offer that as a service. Do it yourself, or get the CFPB playbook that I gave you guys to help you restore your credit faster. I actually still have the contest going, so if you guys want some free stuff, let me know. I'm blessing some people with some do-it-yourself ebooks. I'm blessing some people with some a lot of stuff, guys. So I'm just trying to help as many people as I can and bless as many people as I can for the holiday season, and to provide value, right? So with that being said, uh, that's going to be it for today's video. Let's head over to bitcoindadfiatdad.com and make sure you guys pre-order the new book. It should be out here soon. I'm trying to get this done before my birthday, which is in February. So if you order the pre-book or pre-order the book, I'm sorry, then be on the lookout for that. And I appreciate you guys doing so. And I'm gonna make sure that you guys get that, whether it's hard copy or digital copy. You guys can do both. You guys will get both. And then I also dropped some game in there for you guys. So I dropped the business credit game in there as well. So finalizing the touches on the book because a lot of things have changed in the last few months. So I got to update and go back and change things. But make sure you guys go get your Bitcoin hoodies. Uh, I know some people not some people, one person was complaining about the price of the Bitcoin hoodies, guys. It's $50, guys. It's really not that much money. But I'll see if I can drop it. $10. Um, but these aren't cheap ass hoodies. So if you want me to use a cheaper cloth material, then we can do that. We can use a cheap material, right? But I don't like doing cheap stuff. This is a premium hoodie. These are big B embroidered. This is a huge B. This is embroidery, and I got some on the way. So don't be cheap. I mean, you get what you pay for, right? If it was a cheap hoodie, it wouldn't be the price it is, right? It'll be a different price. But it's actually quality stuff, right? We like to do quality over quantity around here. So head over to swanbitcoin.com/Bitcoin Chris yet again. If you have not already, make sure you go do so. Get your $10 free. Stack up your Bitcoin and DCA each week, each month, whatever you're able to do. No fees on the first 10,000. Download the app. Sign up using the link first, and then download the app. And make sure you guys just DCA, guys. And then we got the DCA BTC. We got the link tree. This is for you guys to, this information is not just for you, right? Take the information and, share it with your family members, right? Especially if you're going to take the tax class. If you're taking the tax class, or you can get your W-2 income tax, stop getting taxed on that on the federal and state level. Um, you know, Share that information with your family, right? Share that with your friends. Not only that, if you can get your money back for the last 3 years that you paid in taxes, the value of the class is worth way more than I'm charging you guys for it. Because I'm sure you paid way more than $150 or $200 in taxes, guys, over the last 3 years. So you got to stop. You got to stop looking at the price of things and looking at the value of things. The credit repair program, guys, is something that I do charge for because we're going to handle everything for you. And it does take time and it does work. However, if you guys just, understand the value, because again, the value is if you fix your credit, then you can lower your credit card interest rates, right? You get approved for things now without getting lower interest rates without getting hit over the head, right? And also, not only that, guys, you guys also have the opportunity to get business credit or just a higher credit limits, right? So, or whether you're looking to get a house, right, or a car, you know, the program works, but you have to, do your due diligence and do your part, right? Build your credit, and we remove the negative items, and you're going to be good, right? Jessica came to me and she said she wanted a house. I told her, "Hey, I got you. Let's get you in a position to get a house." She got the house. Simple as that. My homie Moses joined the program a couple times or once before. He wanted a house. I wanted a car, and then we got him a car. All right. So yeah. With that being said, I'm gonna stop the yapping now. You guys take care. This is Bitcoin Chris checking out. Hope you guys had a great day. Shout out to Dennis for coming on. We're gonna have Jeff Booth on the podcast soon, and I look forward to speaking with him and chatting with Jeff Booth because I really look up to Jeff Booth. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch the videos here. All 200 of you guys that are tuned in. So much love. God loves you. I love you. Stack your Bitcoin and chill. And you guys know we ain't new to this. We true to this. Bitcoin's at it. I got no fear. Um, and hit that like, share, subscribe. I appreciate you guys tuned in, and I'm only here to help you guys out, right? I know it may sound a bit of abrasive or aggressive, right? But don't mistake in my passion for being rude or anything like that. Please don't mistake in my passion for being aggressive or abrasive, right? I just we just don't I don't like to deal with stupidity, right? Because if you just read, if what I'm reading and the law says something and then you're telling me the complete opposite, it lets me know that you know you're probably not using you're not thinking all the way, right? And so can't be arguing with fools, right? Can't be arguing with fools out here, guys. So stack your Bitcoin and chill. Same stuff, different day. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. God loves you. I love you. Once again, Jesus is King. And say a prayer tonight, man. Much love to you guys. And if you're tuned in late, rewatch the video. It's a great episode today. Rewind the live and make sure you share this information. Join the program if you're going to join the program, and stack your Bitcoin and chill. All right. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass.